I'm Liyana Hassanel, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Prime Minister says new cabinet to focus on economic growth and resolving the people's issues. And amendments to the Whistleblower Act to prevent protection being granted indiscriminately. Good morning. We begin with this story. The Prime Minister on Tuesday announced a new cabinet which saw a new appointment and 3 ministers swapping portfolios. 6 deputy ministers were also promoted to ministerial ranks. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said the adjustments to the cabinet were made to strengthen his administration and the government's efficiency. The announcement was made at the Perdana Putra building in Putrajaya. Among those who changed portfolios was Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani, who has been tasked with helming the Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry. There were changes for 3 portfolios at the Prime Minister's Department, with Hannah Yeoh for Federal Territories, Dr. Zulkifli Hassan for Religious Affairs, while Datuk Mustafa Sakmut will be in charge of Sabah and Sarawak Affairs. Akmal Nasrullah Muhammad Nasir will be the new Economy Minister. Stephen Sim has been appointed Entrepreneur and Cooperatives Development Minister, while the new Natural Resources and Environmental Sustainability Minister will be Datuk Sri Arthur Joseph Kurup, and Datuk Sri Noraini Ahmad will lead the Plantation and Commodities portfolio. Datuk Sri R. Ramanan will head the Human Resources Ministry, and Dr. Muhammad Taufik Johari will take charge of the Youth and Sport Ministry. The Prime Minister also announced 18 deputy ministers, which involve new appointments and ministerial shifts. Anwar said the new cabinet is to strengthen the government's ability to face economic challenges and the people's welfare.
Supaya ada kabinet bekerja sebagai satu pasukan dan menumpukan perhatian bagi menjana pertumbuhan ekonomi yang lebih segar dan menyelesaikan masalah rakyat.
Anwar said the swearing-in ceremony for the new ministers and deputy ministers, as consented by Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim, will take place on Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Istana Negara. The new cabinet's first meeting will be held later on the same day at 2:30 p.m. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister expressed appreciation to 2 ministers and a deputy minister for their service. Before serving as Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Datuk Sri Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, who is the Sikijang Member of Parliament, was Health Minister from December 2022 until December 2023. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Religious Affairs, Datuk Muhammad Naim Mokhtar, had served as the Chief Judge of the Sharia Court from April 2019 to his appointment as a Minister in December 2022. While Deputy National Unity Minister Saraswati Kandasamy was appointed as Senator for his second term last Wednesday.
Saya juga mengambil kesempatan ini untuk mengucapkan penghargaan kepada rakan-rakan menteri dan timbalan menteri yang telah menyumbangkan tenaga bakti melalui kementerian dan kepada negara sebelum ini.
Now, Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani described his appointment as the new Investment, Trade and Industry Minister as a major responsibility.
Kementerian Pelaburan, Perdagangan dan Industri atau MITI memainkan peranan yang sangat penting dalam memastikan daya saing ekonomi negara terus terpelihara, keyakinan pelabur diperkukuhkan, serta dasar perdagangan dan perindustrian negara terus akan memberi manfaat yang nyata kepada rakyat. Saya akan lakukan yang terbaik, insyaAllah.
Johari also expressed his gratitude to the Prime Minister for entrusting him with the responsibility of leading the ministry.
Saya ingin merakamkan setinggi penghargaan dan ucapan terima kasih kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri atas kepercayaan dan amanah yang diberikan kepada saya.
Newly appointed Human Resources Minister Datuk Sri R. Ramanan has vowed to carry out his duties and responsibilities with full dedication and commitment, in line with the Malaysia Madani framework. Ramanan said he would be holding a meeting with the ministry's top leadership soon after being sworn in. He also thanked the Prime Minister for the trust placed in him to shoulder the responsibility as Human Resources Minister. Ramanan described the appointment as a major responsibility to ensure that the national workforce development agenda is strengthened in a comprehensive, inclusive and competitive manner, in line with the Malaysia Madani aspirations. Now, geostrategist Azmi Hassan said the new cabinet lineup will strengthen the Madani government to protect the interests of the people.
Yeah, it's a very strategic reshuffle by the Prime Minister, even though there are 28 movements altogether, but there are purpose to it in order for the Prime Minister to strengthen his cabinet. Datuk Seri Anwar want to strengthen the cabinet to give confidence to the people that these are the cabinet that will do the job in the next 2 years at least.
Azmi said the new cabinet reflects two key approaches, opening the door to new and younger leaders, while at the same time entrusting ministers who have performed well with more critical portfolios.
Dr. Muhammad Taufik, for example, from Sungai Petani, very young MP, is given a task as a minister in the Ministry of Youth and Sports, taking over from Hanayo. That's one strategy. Another strategy is that those ministers that have proven that they can do the job is given a more important task. Datuk Johor Ghani is a clear example, from plantation to MITI. Since Datuk Johor Ghani has proven that he's a technocrat, he's an expert, a professional.
Azmi added that this balance between fresh leadership and experience could help the Prime Minister advance his policy goals more effectively. Meanwhile, political analyst Professor Datuk Siva Murugan Pandian noted that the new cabinet seeks to uphold political stability and readiness amid global challenges.
The reshuffle was not a full overhaul, though the number of changes end up aimed at restoring stability and continuity, politically balanced in filling gaps, rebalancing portfolios, and positioning leadership ahead of economic challenges and upcoming elections. This includes Datuk Seri Johari Ghani's role at Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Datuk Seri Johari's background, which includes extensive corporate and financial experience, which the government expects will help navigate global trade uncertainties and investment challenges.
Amendments to the Whistleblower Protection Act will be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat next year to differentiate genuine whistleblowers from criminals attempting to exploit legal loopholes. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim told the Dewan Negara that the amendments would prevent corrupt individuals and criminals from avoiding legal action by claiming to cooperate with authorities.
Ini masalah. Kalau seorang itu curi 1 bilion ringgit,
dia kata dia akan bagi kerjasama dengan SPRM untuk mendapatkan balik RM100, itu bukan whistleblower. Itu penyamun tegar. Sama juga seorang pembunuh. Dia bunuh, kemudian dia kata dia akan bagi kerjasama supaya dengan syarat dia dilepaskan. Dia akan beritahu, katalah 3 orang terlibat, seorang yang juga di antara 3 pembunuh itu, dia kata dia akan bagi kerjasama supaya dia dilepaskan dan 2 orang. Itu bukan whistleblower.
Anwar said a minister has been tasked with overseeing the revisions and is expected to table the bill early next year once the amendments are finalized. However, he assured that safeguards for legitimate whistleblowers will remain intact, including protection for their personal safety and that of their families. The Attorney General's Chambers has ordered that the fatal shooting of 3 suspected robbers in Durian Tunggal, Melaka be reclassified as murder under Section 302 of the Penal Code. In a statement, the AG's Chambers said the decision was based on briefings and recommendations submitted by Bukit Aman. It added that the police are required to conduct several follow-up actions to complete the probe before a final decision can be made on the case. On November 24th, 3 men were shot dead after one of them allegedly attacked a policeman at an oil palm plantation in Durian Tunggal. Melaka police believed that the men were on their way to commit a robbery. The suspects' families, however, later denied that they had acted violently towards the police. In the Dewan Negara on Tuesday, Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim said police have assured him the case will be investigated thoroughly without any compromise. Moving on, polling day for the by-elections in the Kinabatangan parliamentary seat and the Lamak state seat has been set for January 24th. The Election Commission also announced that nomination day will be held on January 10th, while early voting is scheduled for January 20th.
Daftar pemilih pilihan raya DPPR yang akan digunakan untuk PRK kawasan Parlimen P187 Kinabatangan dan Dewan Undangan N58 Lamak Sabah adalah daftar pemilih terkini sehingga daftar pemilih tambahan bulan Oktober 2025 yang dikemaskini sehingga 5 Disember 2025.
The by-elections are being held following the death of the incumbent Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar Radin on December 5th, less than a week after he was elected as Lamak Assemblyman for a 2nd term. The Sabah Barisan Nasional chairman had also served as the Kinabatangan Member of Parliament for 6 consecutive terms since 1999.
Melihat kembali kanvas penuh warna dan helaian fakta.
Menurut peristiwa, kisah dan detik yang membentuk arah negara dan dunia.
Imbasan 2025, retrospektif wajah masa depan.
Ahad 28 Disember 5.32 petang hanya di TV3 dan stream HD ditonton.
Malaysia's non-life insurance segment is expected to remain stable in 2026. Global credit rating agency AM Best said the outlook is supported by regulatory measures introduced by Bank Negara Malaysia to expand insurance coverage. In a report released on Tuesday, the agency said the non-life insurance sector remains well-positioned for continued expansion, even as Malaysia's gross domestic product growth is expected to be moderate in the near term. The central bank's measures are expected to curb medical inflation, boost underwriting profitability, and strengthen insurer preparedness amid rising climate risks. Such initiatives are also expected to enhance the sector's long-term financial resilience and risk management capabilities. The positive growth momentum in the manufacturing sector is expected to continue through the rest of 2025 and into 2026, supported by stronger manufacturing conditions and resilient demand. Kenanga Research says growth could exceed its 3.9% projection for 2025, driven by a resilient electrical and electronics E&E segment. Manufacturing output also expanded 4.3% in the first 10 months of 2025, with indicators pointing to sustained momentum in the near term. This is supported by factors such as the US-Malaysia Accelerated Revenue Transformation Deal, improving US-China relations, and strong global demand for E&E products. Global semiconductor sales forecasts have been raised to $772.2 billion in 2025 and $975.4 billion in 2026, which is expected to support Malaysia's exports. The Bank of Japan is expected to hike interest rates for the first time since January, pushing them to their highest level in 30 years. With persistently high food prices keeping inflation above its 2% target for nearly 4 years, the BOJ is widely expected to raise its short-term interest rate from 0.5% to 0.75% at a two-day policy meeting ending on Friday. Yields on Japanese government bonds have risen in recent weeks on worries about Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's budget discipline, while the yen has weakened. Higher BOJ interest rates make Japanese bonds more attractive than other assets, pushing down their prices but sending yields, which more inversely, higher. Slapping, hitting and kicking. This story and more when Nightline returns.
Belajar kini lebih semangat dengan TV Tuition. Lebih 5,000 video pembelajaran, lebih 100 hos hebat, terdiri daripada selebriti dan guru berpengalaman. Ulang kaji jadi lebih seronok dengan lebih 10,000 soalan latihan, serta ulasan guru yang membantu anda faham dengan cepat dan mudah. Apa tunggu lagi? Langgan sekarang dan stream ditonton. TV Tuition, belajar ditonton, bijak sampai lulus.
Pada malam kejadian, adanya letupan bunga api. Letupan bunga api itu yang menyebabkan jeritan si mati ini tidak didengari oleh orang sekeliling.
Dia ketawa dengan SP31 dan SP28 bagaimana cara dia bunuh sampai sehinggakan orang ni bercakap dah mati, kata mati tu.
Masing-masing girlfriend boyfriend tapi tak pernah jumpa. Kali pertama jumpa adalah di mana si mati telah dibunuh.
Musim tengkujuh ni elakkanlah rekreasi air. Ombak besar, arus deras, punca orang hanyut dan lemas.
Salah faham antara sakit kepala atau pening. Dua-dua ada risiko.
Kes orang hilang ada saja yang berlaku. Apakah punca dan cara elak daripada berlaku?
Awak tahu, saya ada suka satu kedai makan ni. Tapi ada satu masa tu asyik tutup je. Pelik. Macam kena sihir perniagaan. Takut.
Aku juga. Jangan lupa.
Isnin hingga Jumaat, 10 pagi.
Ditonton dan TV3.
Thanks for staying with us. The Royal Malaysian Customs Department has busted a drug packaging operation in Selangor with the seizure of 638 kilograms of cannabis butts valued at over 60 million ringgit in a raid carried out on December 2nd. No arrests were made as the suspects are believed to have fled the premises prior to the operation. Deputy Director General of Customs Datuk Siti Mang said the raid was conducted at a 2-story terrace house in Sri Kembangan. She said 17 parcel boxes and several aluminium foil-wrapped packages containing cannabis flowers were seized. Officers also seized a motorcycle, weighing equipment, and a heat sealing machine from the premises. Police believe the syndicate's modus operandi was to use bedding boxes to package the drugs in an attempt to evade detection by authorities. Based on labels found on the packages, the consignments were declared as microfiber bedding, all believed to have been intended for export. The case is being investigated under the Dangerous Drugs Act. A welder was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment by the Kuala Lumpur High Court after pleading guilty to 2 charges of handling property linked to a member of the Daesh terrorist group. The accused, 40-year-old Muhammad Zairul Mahmud, entered his guilty plea after the charges were read out before Judge Nurul Huda Nuraini Muhammad Noor. According to the charge sheet, Muhammad Zairul knowingly and indirectly handled the property of a terrorist by allowing financial transactions to be carried out through his bank account. He was charged under the Penal Code, which provides for imprisonment of up to 20 years or a fine, as well as forfeiture of any property involved in the offence. The judge ordered the 3-year sentence to take effect from the date of his arrest on July 23rd, with both sentences to run concurrently. Under the charges, Zairul was accused of permitting the deposit of 10,000 ringgit and the withdrawal of 6,000 ringgit from his bank account in Johor Bahru, Johor, between February 2015 and May 2015. In Sabah, police have detained 5 men, including the main suspect, following an assault on a group of students at a premises in Kota Kinabalu last week. Footage of the assault later went viral on social media, showing the man slapping, hitting and kicking the students, including striking them with a helmet. Kota Kinabalu District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Kasim Muda said the case is being investigated under the Penal Code for intentionally causing injury using a weapon, as well as for child abuse under the Child Act. Following the arrest of the main suspect, police also detained 4 other men, believed to be family members of the accused, for allegedly obstructing police duties at a premises in Telipo at around 6:45 p.m. the following day. According to police, the 4 men allegedly blocked a police vehicle's path and uttered vulgarities while attempting to open the car door. The men also kicked and hit the police vehicle. The men, aged between their 30s and 50s, were arrested under the Penal Code for obstructing a public servant in the discharge of official duties. Kasim assured that investigations would be conducted professionally, transparently, and in accordance with the law to protect the interest of all parties. Thailand seeks genuine commitment and mutual understanding from Cambodia. The foreign news when Nightline returns.
Sarah, what happened between you and Aiman?
Cuma lately ni dia nampak macam paranoid sikit. Ya, saya bina dia sebab selalunya saya tak mampu nak cakap semua tu dekat awak.
Saya tak nak benda macam tu buat kita misunderstand.
Bila masa aku hantar mesej ni?
Sarah, you okay? Dari tadi saya tengok you lain macam je.
Sarah, saya je nak explain pasal mesej.
Aiman, awak tak payah nak explain lah.
Macam mana boleh keluar teks ni tiba-tiba?
I Crush You, Jumaat dan Sabtu 9 malam di Lestari TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Musim tengkujuh ni elak kalah rekreasi air. Ombak besar, arus deras, punca orang hanyut dan lemas.
Salah faham antara sakit kepala atau pening. Dua-dua ada risiko.
Kes orang hilang ada saja yang berlaku. Apakah punca dan cara elak daripada berlaku?
Awak tahu, saya ada suka satu kedai makan ni. Tapi ada satu masa tu asyik tutup je. Pelik. Macam kena sihir perniagaan. Dia takut.
Aku juga. Jangan lupa.
Isnin hingga Jumaat 10 pagi.
Ditonton dan TV3.
Kelas keping je.
Mesti shopping pun boleh. Siap ada diskaun lagi.
My mom's a teacher.
And your dad?
He's a liar.
You mean he's a lawyer? You're the
victim here. Driven into the arms of another man.
7.
Yeah, whatever.
It's his birthday.
He said he was gonna be here, he promised.
What's wrong with me? I'm getting what I deserve, I'm reaping what I sow,
Saksikan Layar Layar Ahad ini 9 malam di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
The foreign front. Thailand has set 3 key conditions that Cambodia must meet before meaningful peace talks can take place amid ongoing tensions along the shared border and with no ceasefire negotiations currently underway. Thai Foreign Ministry spokesman Nikondet Balankun said on Tuesday that ceasefire discussions depend on actions by both sides, emphasizing that Bangkok will only participate if there is genuine commitment and mutual understanding. According to Nikondet, Cambodia must first publicly declare a ceasefire, then make a verifiable commitment to peace, and finally cooperate on joint demining along the border. Nikondet reiterated that Thailand is open to dialogue, but stressed that talks require concrete steps showing good faith. So far, Cambodia has yet to respond. The statement comes as Thailand plans the repatriation of up to 6,000 citizens stranded due to the closure of a major border crossing in Cambodia. The Appeals Chamber of the International Criminal Court, or ICC, has rejected one of Israel's legal challenges, seeking to block an investigation into its actions in the genocidal war against the Palestinian people in Gaza, dealing a blow to Israel's efforts to derail the case. In their decision issued on Monday, judges refused to overturn a lower court decision allowing the ICC prosecutor to investigate alleged crimes in Israel's war on Gaza, following the Hamas-led attack on southern Israel on October 7, 2023. The decision clears the way for the court to continue its Palestine investigation, which led to the issuance of arrest warrants in November last year for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant over alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. Israel, however, does not recognize the jurisdiction of the Hague-based court and has repeatedly denied committing war crimes in Gaza.
No, thank you. LAPD responded to arrest.
On to sports now and the 2025 Thailand SEA Games. Malaysia are now just 51 medals away from their 200 medal target after adding 4 golds, 2 silvers and 12 bronzes on day 7 of competition. The latest results keep Malaysia inside the top 5 of the medal standings with a total of 30 golds, 31 silvers and 88 bronzes. One of the standout performances came from Irfan Shamsuddin, who completed a magnificent 7 straight SEA Games titles in the men's discus. His dominance, which began at the 2013 Myanmar Games, continued with a new Games record throw of 60.23 meters at the Supachalasai National Stadium. In Ratchaburi, shotgun shooter Ong Chi Keng ended Malaysia's 32-year wait for the men's individual trap gold, defeating Philippines' favorite Hagan Topacio. Meanwhile, bowling ace Rafiq Ismail finally claimed his first SEA Games gold, teaming up with Shazirul Shamsuddin to win the men's doubles title. And in Chonburi, Megan Min Ernding, riding Gaudi Vita, captured the individual dressage gold with a record-breaking performance. In another development, Malaysia's men's and women's hockey teams are firmly on course for a medal. Sarjit Singh's men stormed into the semi-finals after a comprehensive 6-2 win over Thailand in their final group match. The Speedy Tigers will now take on fourth-placed Singapore on Thursday, with a place in the final up for grabs. Meanwhile, the Young Tigresses also booked a semi-final spot, finishing fourth in the group after a hard-fought 1-1 draw against the hosts. Over in Nonthaburi, the national men's futsal team responded strongly to their earlier setback, bouncing back from a 1-7 loss to Thailand with a dominant 4-2 victory over Vietnam. Malaysia are set to face Myanmar on Wednesday, followed by Indonesia on Thursday, with the gold, silver and bronze medals to be decided in a round-robin format. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, here's a look at Notre Dame's new contemporary stained glass windows on show in Paris, France, featuring full-size models, sketches, and other preparatory work. With that, I'm Hassanel. Thank you for watching, and be well, Malaysia.